Hi everyone, little bonus video for everybody. Lately in the group at Pattern Dash Collections, people have been talking about neurographic tangles, and you know, it's become a thing, and I realized I didn't have any video about it, but it's something I've been doing because it's not really a pattern, and so it's not something I've had on the channel. But it's been something I've been doing in my art for a very, very long time. And I didn't know it had a name. But apparently it does, because it supposedly looks like the neurons. Like if you were to map out neurons in the brain. It's also very calming and relaxing. And so I dug into it a little bit. And if you go onto YouTube and you search for neurographic art, you get all sorts of tutorials. Let me zoom in my camera a little bit so I don't have to hold that so close to the lens. Okay. So you get all sorts of tutorials, but basically it looks, you know, kind of like this. Those are all different. You can do it with or without color. There are all sorts of things that you do, but the main point of it is to take a line, and that at each junction or intersection, like this one shows pretty close up, you just fill in and round the corners. Well, that's a technique we use in CPT, is rounding corners. We've done that a lot in a variety of patterns. So it's just that it's not a pattern because you do it randomly. See, none of these are actual patterns, right? This one kind of is. This one shows it kind of a, looks like intersecting circles, like they've done it with a compass, and then at each intersection they've done it. But in any case, you can look it up on YouTube yourself, find what teacher or art style that you are interested in. I played with it again last night. Let me zoom out because you're not going to be able to see. Let me turn on my light. But I went through some of my old sketchbooks to find art that is similar. And it looks like I tend to do this particular art form when I am very stressed or can't sleep. Almost all of them in my sketchbook, on my notes on the back, was insomnia. And you can kind of see it, especially in my first one. My first one is from a art sketchbook from 2014, November of 2014, and I wrote right on it, sleepless night. Okay, and this is what I have. I just made a scribble all over the page, and then I filled in the little gaps. But see, then I went around and did it slightly differently, where I, let's see, where's something I can point with without making a mess. I went then through in the middle of my shapes and did an aura with these little lines and a dot. Don't know what they mean. Have no clue. It's just what came out of my brain when I wasn't sleeping well. Okay? And again, July of 15, I did this one. So I just kind of, you can see that I did a spiral. I can see that there's a spiral in here, somewhere here, and around, and around, and around like that, right? I've got a spiral in there, but then I also just kind of went all over the page. And then I just fill those in. And in some places, it looks like in the middle of some of the lines, I did an outward little triangle. Besides just filling in the curves, I put a little blob in there outwardly. That I saw on one of somebody else's, one of these videos that I watched, that was a thing to do, was to then on the line do different line widths and maybe make some thicker spots. And then here's another one from April of 18. Similar sort of thing. Looks like I started with just a random squiggly kind of a thing, did these fill in rounding corner things, and then inside each of those shapes I either put a pattern, you know, this is kind of like following a flowing line pattern, or I just did an aura with a line thickness to make it kind of look like cutouts, sort of tribal like. I was doing tribal at this time in my art practice. Okay, and then last night I did the ones that are more like what's coming up right now, and that's this. Excuse me, I'm gonna have to close my windows. I was hoping I could keep the windows open today, but nope, not gonna happen. Okay, so that's more like what is currently going on around in the interwebs and in our particular Facebook group. So I just wanted to do one on camera to show you how easy it is, and yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to do. So let me sit down here. Comfy. Okay. So I got myself a page that's approximately, now those sketchbooks are all a 6" by 6" sketchbook, and this one that I did last night, this one here, in a 6" by 6" sketchbook actually took me about an hour. Just to let you know, because I was spending the time to just fill in and quietly calm my mind. I did this just before I went to bed. It was a good exercise for just before going to bed. I slept really well last night, so maybe I should do that more frequently. But this one is going to be approximately 4.5 by 6.5. I'm going to give myself a border just because I like borders. You don't have to give yourself a border. I think I'm going to make it a brush border. A lot of the people on the YouTube pages weren't doing, on the YouTube tutorial things, they weren't doing borders. They were just going all the way to the edge of their page. You do you, boo-boo. I'm going to use a pencil. I am going to close my eyes. I know that my corner of my page is here. I know there's the page corner there. You know, I can kind of feel around at my edges, but I'm going to close my eyes and I'm just going to do a shape, whatever my brain decides that it needs for today. So maybe like this and around like that and there. Okay? That's the shape my brain needed today. Don't know what it is? It's okay. And then you can do other shapes on the page. The one I did last night, I actually did that same blind scribble 2 times. Maybe I'll do that again. I'm going to start in this corner this time, I think. Come this direction. Okay, that one had more of an angle to it. It had this big pointy thing. All good, right? And then the new thing is, apparently the big thing is to add some circles. You can trace around, you know, you can put a bottle down and trace around a bottle. You can use, if that's too big for your particular page, you can use the bottle cap. Maybe I'll do that. I'll use this one as I'll do a bottle cap right where? Right there. Like that. It didn't fill in all the way on the back side. I didn't trace very well. You can use whatever you have around the house that is circular. I'm going to maybe use my Helix circle maker and make a couple of circles, maybe this size. That's easier. And maybe one this size. Okay. Just make sure you have intersecting lines. And then if you're more into straight lines, you can just stick a straight line across. Let's stick a couple of straight lines in here just to give it some other dimension. Let's give it a straight line across here too. Okay, so now I've got some straight lines, I've got some squiggle lines, I've got some, you know, you would say that that's a mess, and you'd be right. That's a mess. But now you just come back with your pen, and you don't have to follow the where you put your pencil exactly, but just kind of follow the general idea of where your pencil went. See, I'm not following it exactly, but I'm using it as a gesture to give me an idea of where that line went. Okay, that was that second line that I did. Here's that first line I did. I kind of came up and I went around. And you don't want too many tiny little sections, so I'm gonna come out a little bit, around a little bit bigger. See, that's kind of tight in there, so I'm gonna come out. I just made it so that I have sections that are a little bit bigger, that they're not all intersecting in the one exact spot. And then I'm going to do a circle here, and a circle here, right? That's where I decided. And one in here somewhere, like so. I'm not really feeling the straight lines, but I'm going to put them in because I want to show you guys it can be straight lines. As a matter of fact, if you prefer straight lines, you could just do one that's all straight lines. That would work too. I'm not saying that you have to have curves, okay? That one's going through this intersection right there. I don't know if I'm going to like that, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and put it there. Because that's where you just kind of go intuitively. That ended up with a lot of intersection there, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to erase all those pencil marks because I don't need them. I'll make it more clean. Because this one doesn't get shaded or anything. I mean, unless you really want to, but... Get it all nice and cleaned up. Whew. And then I'm going to clear. Just come in here. Let me zoom in so you can see it nice and tight. And we're just going to come and round the corner like that and just fill this bit in. Okay? Round the corner like this and fill this bit in. So anywhere where there's a corner, where there's a harsher angle, you just want to round it. Now you can round it small, like that. You can barely round it, right? I want that looks like I don't want to connect it. Barely round it like that. Or you can really round it. Like, let's say this one. Let me say I want to really round that one. Matter of fact, I'm going to round it all the way to like there. Okay? And then you just fill that in. And that's all you do. Everyone can do this. If you can hold a pen, you can do this. Okay, I'm going to do just barely around there. And just a barely around there. Like that. On the edge, you can, you know, if you had your design go right off the page, it wouldn't matter. But since I have a border, I'm going to go ahead and connect it to my border with kind of a roundy shape. Like so. Okay? So we're just going to come in here and we're going to fill in some of these. I think I made this too big for a short video. This is going to end up long. I shouldn't have gotten quite so carried away. But this is just to give you guys an idea of what it is, because a lot of people were asking, well, what is a neurotangle and how do you do one? So even if I don't finish today on this, it'll give you an idea of what one is. But since it's not a pattern, I mean, it's a fun thing to draw, but it's not a pattern. It just isn't. Unless you took it and made a pattern and then did this to it, which you could also do. You know, like this one's got quite a number of lines coming together, and you just take them one at a time. Don't get freaked out that there's a bunch of them. Do them small, you can do them larger, like that. Doesn't matter. That's what's kind of lovely about this particular thing, is that it has no right or wrong. Okay? It just is. But if you go intuitively about, you know, what your brain wants to draw, I believe it's one of those things that kind of, the reason it calms you down is because it's really giving you that stress relief outlet. That this is a representation of a picture of what your brain was doing at the moment it was doing. You know, today I'm fairly calm. I don't have a lot of anxiety or stress, and this is kind of a lovely, calming, swirly. Same thing with last night. This one, I was calm. I was on my way, gonna go to bed. I was calm. But you can see the energy difference when I have some anxiety, especially this first one. Boy, I can really see just anxiousness in that. So I just wanted to let you know this is how you do it. It's very simple. I like putting a couple of dots on the circle along this line. For some reason, I find that pleasing. Any of the lines that are kind of big and long on their own. A couple of dots as they reduce in size. I find that a pleasing thing to add to my art. was that interchange where there were so many of them all together. Show you what that looks like. Just let me finish this one real quick. Like I said, I might not finish this as a finished art piece. I may turn it over or get a smaller one and show you what it might look like if you did all straight lines, which I think I might want to do. I'm feeling it. But let's do this interchange here where there's so many different lines coming together. Let's just do this one like that. And I'll do a small one there. Let's do a larger one here. And a small one there. And a small one there. And let's do a larger one here. You can do them different sizes, okay? Kind of like a spider web. Like that. And then just fill that in. I'm doing them different sizes just to give them a little different line weight. Give it some interest. I don't know why this morning, but we can actually see the mountains. The air quality says it's still bad with the fires, but I can see the mountains today. I live in a place where I can look up and see the mountains. See, something like that. And that's all you do. And then some people are coloring them in. Look how simple that is to do. Anybody can do this. I think I want to get a smaller one, and I want to do one that's straight lines. Let me just do a little one that's all straight lines. Let me do a border, and I'm going to do just straight lines. But see, since they're random, it's not really what I would call a pattern. That's good. We're just going to round those up. That, and maybe here like this. This is like doing, there is a pattern that does this, and we will probably do it well, we've already done it. No, but you haven't seen it yet. We're going to do it upcoming in the viewer favorites. It's Enzeppel. You guys know Enzeppel? Very similar to that. Except for in Zeppel, you do a pattern with your lines, and then you do this rounding. Let me see if I have it up here. Do I? What did I do with it? Sneak peek, like that. That will be coming up in October. So this bonus video is being brought to you by not reading my schedule properly. I thought I was supposed to be work at 8 o'clock this morning. Turns out I am supposed to close the store tonight. I don't have to be there till 3 o'clock this afternoon. Well, I got all the way over there to work. Well, not that far. But I got to work, went to clock in, and the time clock said, employee not scheduled. What do you mean I'm not scheduled? So then I went and looked at the schedule. And I was totally reading next week's schedule for today. And I realized how I did it. Manager, up on the bulletin board we have current week's schedule, next week's schedule, and 2 weeks out schedule. Okay, so you have 3 schedules up on the bulletin board. Well, they posted the following week's schedule, the one for the following week, and moved the current week's schedule up here, and then shifted everything down so it has actually where it says current week is actually next week, and then it's the following week, and then it's the week after. So we have 4 schedules up right now. And when I left work yesterday, I went under current week schedule and I looked at today, which is a Friday, and yeah, apparently next Friday I have to be at work at 8 a.m., which is what I thought I was supposed to be today. And that's okay. I'll just come back later this afternoon. No big deal. But that means I have time to draw. Because I don't usually close the store anymore. It's not my normal schedule, and I find I can't draw in the dark. I just can't see well enough. I'm getting old and I can't see well enough to draw in the dark. So even though there's lots of lights out here, I have a whole plethora of lights. This tiny little room has 6 overhead lights plus my ring light. But in the evenings it's just too dark for me. I need that sunlight. So I don't draw after work. And besides that, usually I'm exhausted after work. I have a better energy level in the morning. I might do this in 2 parts. If you guys want to watch the second half of me finishing this other one, I'm going to finish this one, and then if you want to see me finish the other one, you can watch the second half. If you don't, that's cool. I won't be offended if you don't want to sit through all of that, but I feel I'm feeling like I want to finish it and I want to color it. And that will just take a long time. I'm going to finish this one. And I think for this one, I might show you how I did. See, this didn't take that long to do. How I did some of these other ones where I did an aura, like this one. I'm going to show you how I do that on this one, because this one's very simple. So what I did is I just came through and I just very, very easily just did auras inside. The tip to this micron has broken. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see how it's crooked? That doesn't happen that often. Dang it. I'm not heavy-handed with my microns, and this is a new pen. This is annoying. Like that. And then on one side, I'm not even necessarily going to be consistent with what side. Just going to come along and make it a little thicker on some of them. Like so. It's getting hot in here though. It's getting hot because I closed the window. And on others, I'm just gonna do little lines like that. Maybe this one will go this way. Like that. And maybe on some of them I will go ahead and put that line with a dot. Just so that every one of them has something in it. Like so. Oh, missed one. Like that. See? So you can embellish even the simple Neurotangle. You can embellish it. I'm just gonna Just gonna do like that for this one. And this one, I'm gonna continue on. I'm gonna enjoy myself. I'm going to just keep working on it. But I don't want this video to be super duper long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a two-part, which I don't often do. Actually, I don't think I've ever done a full two-parter. Have I? Well, not since October of last year, where I did a 31-parter or 32-parter. But yeah, I think I'm going to just keep going on this, and you guys will come along with me on the next video, and we will finish whatever this is. Stick some dots, stick some more curves, make it the way I want it, and then maybe I will put a little bit of color in here. Feeling like I like those colored pieces. I think I want a little wash of watercolor in here. Yeah, you guys feeling the watercolor? I'm feeling the watercolor. So, I will say goodbye with you on this one. If you just wanted to know what it was and what it's all about, that's this particular pattern. And I'm going to continue on with this other one, and you can see part 2 if you want. And if you don't want, just skip it. It's okay. I'll be fine with that. Alright, you guys have a great day, and I'll be back in a few minutes on the next video. Bye-bye.